So again, now we drop down to soluble salts. As you can see, after harvest, they've gone down. Or excuse me, yes, soluble salts have gone down significantly, like almost 30%, right? Chloride went up a little. So this is also an interesting thing, that salt comes in a couple of different forms, or many different forms. But if you can pull sodium and push it in other directions, either by uh, knocking it off the cation exchange site and therefore making it mobile, you can flush it out. And I believe that there's also some conversions that happen during degrading and solubilizing bacteria influence. So that's, again, this stuff is so far ahead of the curve that we, team, Kyle and Keith and Andy, we're all starting to just try to put this stuff together, because no one has done any of this. I don't believe there's much information at this level, science backed anyway. So we're just out here, boldly going where no one has gone before. So bear with us. We've reduced sulfur, which is great. We reduced phosphate, which isn't the end of the world. Calcium went down a little bit. So again, these numbers went down. But another thing that you have to take into consideration is that prior to the application of this product, this biological, all of that stuff was mobile. And what this test tells you is that we've decreased the amount of nutrients that are mobile. So where are they? They're tied up in the bacteria, immobile. So now that you have added value, that each one of those bacteria have a greater level of the things that the plant actually wants. This is another off topic. I'm working with a group doing aerobic digestion, and we're seeing exactly the same results. The NPK test coming out of it, there's almost no nutrition whatsoever left in it. It's all tied up in the bacteria. So we're making bacteria superfood for plants. And then as you see down below the saturated paste, can you scroll up, Ken? There you go.
There we go.
All right. So as you can see here, now the percentage of calcium has changed. So we've solubilized some of that calcium, and that is now attached to the clay platelets or other sources of cation exchange. Cation exchange can happen on clay, silt to some degree, as well as organic matter. So that's important to know, that we're shifting this in the right direction. These numbers should be calcium at 75, magnesium at 17, and potassium at 8, and no sodium. And here again, we show that we've knocked some of those sodiums off of those cation exchanges. That would be almost 25% increase, which is huge. It's huge, because now you've opened up 25% more parking spots to hold the nutrients that you want, not the ones that you don't want. So this again is showing, incredible value from the biologicals that are coming from Keith's farm. Keith, did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, well, then you look at the trace elements and you can see that they're actually being used up now. They're actually being used in the process. So you see boron, you see iron, both significantly dropped in the process. And when we go back and look at the nutrient density, you'll see where it went. It went into the plant.
Which is, again,
away. It didn't disappear. It got absorbed by the plant like it should.
Yep. And
boron, I think, being one of the important ones, as well as, they're all important to the plant health. What we don't have is any measurement of silica. But maybe next year we can add that to the list.
That's a good question. I don't think I've ever seen a silica test, unless I go to one of those super expensive labs, like not Logan, but Woods End is one of them that does all kinds of crazy tests.
We've had we had the Bold product tested for silica, and we found it at 1,525 parts per million.
And where did you get that tested?
Midwestern Labs.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Well, then we'll talk to Kyle about that off air or during the podcast.
Yeah.